show hosted by Dana, her sister Eve, and her fiance, Robert, a.k.a. Chubbs.
What?
What we're talking about here. Now,
fiance?
Yes. They had a big...
I did not know. I had a total different
You thought he was gay?
Chubbs. Oh, 100%.
He might be. He might be.
Tookie is shocked. Not a lot shocks Tookie these days, but I was going to say, how many of these girls with a gay guy podcast can you find, Carl?
Well, they're not talking about true crimes. That's how you know it's not a girl with a gay guy podcast.
There you go.
But this Dana, Donnelly is her name. Mm-hmm. I think she thinks she's a celebrity. She moved out to LA. She is a comic. I checked out some of her stand-up comedy before we get into the podcast, just to give you an understanding of what she does. This is from like an Arsenio Hall show that showcases comedians. I don't know what it's from. Probably a couple of years ago.
Who here has their own Netflix account? Good for you guys. Most people I know just use their parents. I did recently get my own, though. Thank you. Just because I was sick of being reminded of the fact that I'm not my mom's favorite child, every time I would go to enter the password, which is my sister's name and birthday. I told my mom that, and she was like, well, I would have made it your name and birthday, but I couldn't remember your birthday. I had a birthday recently. Thank you.
Wow. Amazing. You had a birthday recently. Why does she talk like that?
I don't know. I liked it better when Margaret Cho did her mom, and she was like, Margaret, you got to get your own Netflix account.
That was a weird setup where it's like, how do people have their own Netflix account? I thought you were going to say, like, own Netflix special or something. Own Netflix account, like, yeah.
What is this
use my parents.
from? Does she have her own Netflix special? I would not be shocked.
She does not.
This looks very well produced, though, whatever this is.
No, this is the Arsenio Hall comedian showcase thing.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that you said that.
Yeah, it's a small little theater. I don't know how important this actually was.
She looks pretty small, too.
She is 4'11", we find out.
Except in the midsection. Remember when girls used to show off their belly button rings? Now they all wear their pants like my dad. What is the deal?
Yeah, and they're way too baggy. I mean, I've talked about this a lot with Balin Dupree. Like, the style that's happening right now, at the moment that she's on TV, it's fucking everything up. We every 12 years or so, hot chicks start wearing baggy clothes, and you go, what are we doing? It doesn't last long, thank God, but we're in the middle of it right now. It's annoying. Not this chick, though. She doesn't wear baggy clothes. Let's hear more of her stand-up about her ex-boyfriend.
People give me shit for talking about my ex too much, which feels really unfair to me, because it's like, okay, why should I have to stop talking about my ex, a relationship that ended like less than 3 years ago? When Hollywood is still making movies about World War II.
Right, she's got a tag. Hold on.
A war that ended like 20 years ago.
Good stuff. Good stuff, Dana. All right, Tookie, I heard you complaining about this on Be Dabbling Live today.
Yes.
You pulled a bunch of clips. Do you have one that maybe sums up the podcast that we can start with?
I do. Number one sets up the show again. I thought the guy was gay, but this is basically like, what is the old young podcast?
Oh, funny with like acting. Obviously, when we were like in our acting eras or whatever, it's like obviously me. I know that I'm like cookie cutter. I'm like the default character in a video game.
This is a different clip.
But you would think that like Dana and Eve
are
unique,
would be
but we're
super
not.
unique.
You're right.
But they've got fleets of them.
Not
Nope,
only
it's not
are there
fine.
like a bunch of girls who look like me, there are a bunch of girls with alliteration names. Like there really
Can you
are.
pause it real
like,
quick?
There's like Leah.
Actually, that sums up the show for me.
Yeah,
pretty much.
It kind of does, because I didn't know that she was a comedian, and I was just watching this show and going, God damn it, these people want to be desperately famous, like especially the one in the middle. So
Yes.
now I kind of understand it a little more.
Well, also that joke that I played from her special where she talks about how her sister's the favorite, that's her sister Eve that she's talking about. on the show. So like, and I went back, I found she used to do like sketch comedy and make these online shorts and stuff. And everything involves her sister and her boyfriend or fiance. So this is like her entire world. Like this is the cast that we're going to see.
But the cutting, I don't understand what they're doing. I don't know if the episode you watched was like this, but they are constantly scaling the video and scaling back to normal, but they're not doing cuts.
Right.
Like it's kind of just
there's only one camera angle, but they edit and produce it as if there's multiple camera angles.
Right. They like punch in and then punch out and then punch in. It's almost like WWE style.
Right.
Like, and normally you would go, oh, okay, they made a cut there, but they're not cutting. I don't understand the style, but I assume everyone will be doing it in a few weeks.
Lonzo. Yeah, Leah Lonzo. Like, there's like girls just like me with the same alliteration name who also are like funny.
Well,
Funny.
All right, here's the clip that sums up the show for you.
Welcome back to Young Old, where two of us are old and one of us is still young technically, but
we're getting
older
there.
every day.
We're getting there. It's gonna be old.
Well, I was saying like when we came back, it would have been something to consider the rebrand of Old and Older.
I think that's real sad.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's depressing as hell. Also, Biter's here, and he's a young lad.
Biter's technically the oldest of all of us.
Yeah, he's
in
middle-aged
dog years.
man
He's
in
a
dog
middle-aged
years.
dude.
Human years, he's a mere 6.
But in dog years, he's 42.
Whatever.
And again, I'm
Although apparently
30.
that conversion isn't actually accurate.
So yeah, so her fiance was very excited to announce his age. The dog name is Biter. He will come up a little later as well. But yes, the whole show, Young Old, is about two slightly old people.
No, she's just turned 27. This
What?
woman is
She's
this woman is
so old.
27 or just there's 23 or some shit. And they're like, oh my gosh, like we're totally different ages and completely different generations. We should do a show where I'm like old and you're young.
Yeah, she even said her sister is kind of young, but now I'm learning that she is like, what, 23?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's
But
very
this
stupid.
is, again, they think that they're the center of the universe. And for them, this is just normal to be like, oh yeah, of course me and my sister have this crazy, quirky dynamic where I'm a little bit older than she is. Wow. That's crazy. You should do a show.
Yeah, wild.
You should do a show about that. What else do you want to play, Tookie?
Well, if you want to hear something more interesting about her sister, what's the sister's name? Dana or Dina?
Well, Dana's the main person in the middle. Eve is the younger
Eve.
sister. Yes.
Okay, if you want to hear something interesting about Eve, play clip number 2.
Something I would like to say that's really interesting is that I would be unstoppable if I didn't have like weird sensory issues, because then I could have full bangs and they'd be really cute, but I just like can't do that because of I think I'd claw my forehead off.
No, I can't do bangs. I can't have anything in my face.
That's bad news.
Isn't that interesting?
Nope.
Nope.
Not even close.
There's nothing interesting about these three people. But yes, you're right. They do feel that they are the center of the entertainment universe.
Well, they start off. So this is apparently they had a show, and then it went away, and then it came back. And this was just last January, just last month, where their show came back. And they're like, the return of the show. It's called The Return of Young Old, but it's episode number 1. So that's a little confusing. I'll be honest. I couldn't bring myself to do too much research. But they started a little bit late because Eve just couldn't get out of bed.
Like it's like 2:30. He walks into the kitchen and I'm cooking bacon, and we just have this look that's like I know everything he's thinking already, and he just goes, "I'll save it for the pod."
Well, because we'll always be like, Eve, we have 20 minutes. And she'll be like, do I have time to make a 5-course meal?
But in my defense, like I would be so cranky right now if I did not eat my bacon and croissant and latte.
Aren't we so quirky? Isn't that funny, our dynamic with each other? She's making breakfast at 2:30.
No, the way they talk is infuriating. Everything about this podcast is infuriating. Even the dream catchers in the background.
I was just going to say that.
The neon like wording that everyone has to have in their podcast now. I mean, they all just literally fall into, whatever trend is happening at the time.
You don't think this is going to catch on and become a huge show?
Of course it will.
Or are they pulling clips and talking about them?
Not yet. You want to
Not
hear?
yet.
You want to hear Eve's butane story? This is pretty impressive. This is what you bring to a podcast right here.
I remember when I went, they don't sell butane online because it'll explode in the mail.
Yeah.
And there was a Williams Sonoma like near us, and they had butane, and they were like, we're closing. And I was like, oh my God, I'll never get the chance to buy butane again. And so I bought 3 bottles of butane, and now I just have.
What a story, Mark.
Pretty impressive stuff. She lives a very fascinating life that we all need to hear about, buying butane at the store. I want to show you the intro theme for this show. I think it'll give you an understanding of.
I'm glad you cut it.
Show's all
I was
about.
debating. I was like, I know he's got to cut this.
Yeah,
Right?
I'll have it.
Two sisters talk about dumb shit. We hope you like it. 'Cause if not, then we'll kill ourselves and the blood will be on your hands. Young Alt!
I'm okay with that.
I'd be fine with it. I wouldn't be too upset. So this is the recap that they have because, like I said, this is the first episode, even though they're back.
Do we have any? How do we want to recap?
I guess like update. Okay, so yeah, like what's happened since we were last.
Well, Dana and I are
Robert
engaged.
and I are engaged. Woohoo!
And Eve she's pissed about it.
And I'm so pissed. And I'm gonna stand up at the wedding.
She's gonna be our only guest and our only objector.
She
Our
will,
only
yeah,
guest
she'll
will
have to
be an
stand up
objector.
the whole time. She'll have to play every role at the wedding because
I'll object her.
I have no friends, and Dana.
She's best man, best woman, maid of honor.
I'm maid of honor and I'm best man.
You're gonna have
and
one
the
of those half
objector.
tuxedos, half gown, where
Yeah.
you'll turn.
It's gonna be lit.
Wow, good riffing, guys.
Yeah. And this guy is quite a catch.
Now I
so
see why
these-
Tom Myers thinks we rehearse before we do this show.
So these are not Taiwanese lady boys? These are real girls?
I think they're real girls.
I'm
Tookie.
shocked.
I was
Play
surprised
number
too.
Play number 6. I hope it's in this clip. They talk about how being Fae is so in right now.
Okay.
And that's why I totally thought he was all about that
So
Fae
if
life.
my child was Fae, it would be like a really weird dynamic. It's like parents who beg their kids for money.
Yeah.
I'd be like, please make me Fae. And they'd be like, Mom!
Please make me Fae.
Mom, I'm not gonna make you Fae. And then they have to like go no contact with me. I won't stop begging them to make me Fae.
Wait, why couldn't they make you Fae though?
But that's the question.
Well, they could, but like, I mean, okay. Well, it's like
Are
again,
there
it's like asking
drawbacks
your
to
kid
being
for
Fae?
money. It's
But,
like, yeah.
but are there? Does it make them less Fae to
a
make
little.
you
So
Fae?
in the book, when they all give her a tiny bit, all the like Fae kings give her like a little bit of Fae, and she does take like a smidgen of their power, basically.
Fae is short for fairy.
right? And
It's
they didn't
lame
know
as
that
hell,
would
but that's
happen.
what they call
Power
it.
is finite.
Oh, I thought for sure it ended with a G, whatever word they were trying to.
He's a fan.
Whatever word they were trying to abbreviate there.
There's so many violations going on at once, aside from the vocal fry. But we've recently talked about people being too fucking comfortable.
Yeah.
This takes the cake, man. They're in their jammies. It looks like
They're
one of them's wearing
holding
a blanket.
microphones. They
Yeah.
can't be bothered to get stands and a table, which I
Well,
find
there's-
annoying.
They're sitting on a pull-out couch, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's like an
So, I
opium
mean-
den.
Yeah.
It might really be.
What way to get more comfortable than to sleep or sit on a pull-out couch?
Well, I want to get into more wedding talk, guys, because these two are getting married and they don't have any friends and no one's going to be there. And they each try to talk dumber than the last person.
Yeah.
Dude, but Dana and I were saying it's like the way, not even in a rude way, but the way I'm like not even excited for the wedding part. I just want to like go on a big vacation after.
Well, we were saying like it's like we want to ditch our own wedding so bad.
Yeah.
Like Eve even said this where she was like, I can't see you guys staying past 5 p.m. at your wedding.
Right, well,
which
'cause
is true.
the wedding-
Why do you talk that way?
Wedding.
Well, then just
Which
go
is
to the
trash.
DMV like Tookie did and get married.
Yes.
Why do you even have to have a wedding if you don't? Oh God, it's so stupid. We have to have a stupid.
I just want, as soon as we
wedding.
get there, I want to live. I don't want to been at my wedding.
DMV, $30. You're in and out in 20 minutes.
All right,
man.
so these people are wildly immature. If you haven't picked up on that yet,
What?
Dana explains how nervous she is, and then look what they have to comfort her.
I don't really have anything to say.
and that's the end of the episode 1 of Young Old.
Oh god.
Dana's out of things to
No,
say.
it's not. I'm not out of things to say. I'm realizing I'm kind of nervous. It's literally like
take a look around. Who are you
what?
nervous for? Etane?
Atane is so judgmental. You don't know
Camilla?
what kind of shit she says.
Camilla is actually judgmental. We talk about this all the time.
Yeah, these will be in the wedding party.
They just pulled out stuffies. They were sitting there, stuffies were right there on the couch with them. And they're like, oh, do you want to play with your elephant or your giraffe? Will that make you feel better?
You really are out of things to say.
She's like, yeah, kinda. I'd like to do that, actually.
Do they ever mention if her mother will be coming to the wedding?
That's a good question. I don't think they did talk about that.
Okay,
No.
yeah, because I have a clip, number 7, where they both even question if they called their mom right now, would she pick up?
Oh, shit. I guess.
So I was curious if the mother would be at the wedding.
Oh, let's find out.
Yeah. Should we call our mom? Speaking of parents.
Sure. Is that what we...
Do we want to do how's our mom? We don't have to.
We don't... I mean...
You can't. It's your mom.
I'm like, will she even answer? That woman never answers her phone.
Someone asked last episode, and I was like, oh, you could call her this episode.
But I feel like that's sort of thing that has to be planned. Like, I feel like we have to know, have your mom standing by.
All right. We won't bother.
Yeah,
All right, never mind.
definitely can't call my mom.
Yeah. Well, why can't we?
Huh?
Why can't we?
Cause she fine. It's because she's Faye,
No,
and
I
I'm
thought
not.
it was gonna be because you're Faye. And she keeps hitting you up.
And I tried to reverse it. I thought that'd be funny, but it would be better if I was Faye. Clearly I would be Faye if anyone in my family's Faye.
Trust me, you're Faye.
Why do you go over there?
You see why I was so confused?
I literally am.
I mean, are they trying to annoy every single person watching or listening to this?
Yes.
Mission accomplished.
What's the goal?
Like, I literally am saying I'd be most likely
What
to
if
be a
all
fairy.
middle children are Faye?
Pretty good lore.
Faye. What if all middle children are Faye? What the fuck?
Meanwhile, I'm looking at my screen like, what do you mean if or would be? What? I had no idea. I am blown away by the fiance thing.
All right. So I know I shattered your world with that. It really changed your entire presentation of this, I
don't
think.
know. My whole weekend's fucked.
I know. I'm sorry.
Is anything real?
Now, you guys are going to be shocked to find out who Eve is a huge fan of. I never would have guessed this, but it turns out she loves Trisha Paytas.
Okay, should we talk about Trishmas?
Oh yeah. Well, we're in the influencer. You can do a leap from Dobrik to Trisha.
Yes. Okay, because Trisha is.
It's a leap over a chasm of hatred, but still a leap.
To Dobrik. I am a huge Trisha fan. I'm a Patreon subscriber, etc. And she was having a Christmas show called Trishmas.
Mm-hmm. I always wondered, who are the Trisha Paytas fans out there? Because I saw that she went on this Eras tour, and she's selling out theaters all over the place. And I go, oh, that's it. That makes a lot of sense. It's other people who think they're also going to be wildly famous for having no talent.
Yeah.
It's an inspiration to these types of people. They're like, wait a second. She's unattractive. She's fat. She's not a good dancer.
It's contagious.
And she's really famous and has a lot of money. Mm-hmm. I want that.
These three have figured out what it takes to be famous if you play clip 11.
Oh, before I do that real quick, but thank you. I'll get that loaded up. Mm-hmm. They talk more about this live show that apparently Eve brought her sister and her sister's boyfriend to.
For Eve, it was a religious experience. For Dana and I, it was just a really fun show.
I did cry multiple times. I mean, she's so inspirational.
She's so inspirational.
Like, it really is proof that if you just keep going, if you show up for yourself every day, the universe will reward you.
Well, it is like, if you just keep posting through it. Because there have been so many eras where it's like you would think, well, clearly Trisha's down and out, and she just keeps going.
But she's also a true testament to passion is enough. Love for something is enough. You don't need to be good at anything.
Wow. Someone finally summed it up for me. Like, I never understood the Trisha Paytas thing. And finally, it's just like, she just like keeps trying even though she shouldn't. It's amazing.
Just keep going. Hear that, Ray DeVito? Just keep going.
That's right.
I think I can. I know I can.
You said number 12?
Well,
11.
no, number 11. And
Number
yes,
11.
It falls in line with their reasoning here of what it takes to become famous.
Let's see.
But it's like, it's like you're complaining about this, but it's like, okay, so be an influencer then. Like, there's no job requirements. You don't need a degree.
Well, also when people say stuff like, "Oh, this person only got famous because they got lucky and it's random," it's like, and isn't that scary and crazy?
It is scary and crazy.
All luck and craziness.
So you may as well be trying your luck. I mean, I see people say this too, where they're like, every TikTok you make is like a lottery ticket. Like, enter the lottery every day as many times a day as you can. Why not?
Yeah.
What?
Well, I mean, I don't know. You also, it's like,
So
sounds like gambling addict.
Yeah,
Yes, this is a mental illness these people have.
100% mental illness.
Social media is destroying people's lives.
Talent need not apply.
Right?
Just keep putting out shit until shit sticks to the wall.
Yep, it's the same
Chad
as just
Zumach.
picking random numbers, and then one day your numbers will be called, and then you'll be the next star.
It's worse than that. You don't even need $1 in a dream.
Yeah, right. You just need a phone, I guess. Yeah, it's a little more than $1.
Okay.
But no, it reminds me of who was the bitch that we were introduced to recently, who was the
Felicia
theater
Gillespie.
girl. No. I'm talking about someone who's actually very famous because of TikTok, because she made that video where she was. We just did the podcast about her. I know Lucy's screaming this behind the scenes right now, but what the fuck was her name? Oh, Broski, Brittany Broski.
Yeah.
That's a perfect example. I think people like this see that and they go, "Oh, Brittany Broski doesn't have any talent. She just makes weird noises and talks funny, and she's super famous. So we'll just keep doing this until we're super famous." But there's something weird going on here because, as I mentioned before, she had a social media presence, and then I guess Dana deleted all of her accounts at some point.
Well, it's crazy because I think when people like have never like gone viral on social media or don't have a following, it seems so like important, and they can't imagine like, oh, she deleted her accounts. Well, why would she do that? And it's like, well, if she wants, she'll just create them again and then go viral again.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a weird thing. So this podcast, Young Old Podcast, has 1.67 thousand subs, so under 2,000 subs. And then at Dana_Donnelly, her main channel has under 4,000 subs, 3.67. So there must have been some kind of meltdown or something that happened where she deleted all of her social media accounts. If this is the only thing she's trying to do to get famous.
Well, yeah, I'm very curious because I had a clip number 4 where she talks about how she used to make money and now she don't.
Oh.
Please. The other day, I noticed that a piece of my pizza was gone.
You never eat your leftovers.
But I do now because I'm broke. That's also, I wrote this down too, but like things that I understand now that I don't have any money is that I need to eat my leftovers.
I have a direct quote from you, and it's, once things are in the fridge, I don't care if you eat them.
Well, I had been mentally planning to eat those two pieces of pizza for lunch the next day. I didn't know they would be gone so quickly. It's like that pizza was in the fridge for like 7 hours.
I needed an update because previously I would ask you about things, and then you would be like, if it's in the fridge, just eat it. Like, don't ask me about it.
That was when I was rich.
This is unfortunate.
How was I supposed to know you went from rich to poor in 24 hours?
This is really unfortunate because I was very much Team Dana because it is such a double standard, because if you can't touch any of Eve's food, that's like a well-known thing. But I also now do remember Dana explicitly saying,
she said that.
Once it goes in the fridge.
If you gave me an update and said, Eve, don't eat my things from the fridge anymore,
right.
I won't eat them.
Okay.
Wow, you really? I thought we had her for a second.
No, apparently not. I guess not.
What the frick, man?
I'm saying this now out loud. I need my leftovers.
Okay.
I am no longer in a place where the leftovers aren't important to me. I never thought I would be here.
All right.
What in the fuck? There's no way these people have friends that would hang out and put up with this.
No.
These would be the worst people to be at a cafe with.
Yeah.
They would want all the attention. They'd be talking really loud about nonsense, leftovers, and how many hours pizza's in the fridge.
They're the worst.
It's mind-boggling. So I guess you heard that she said she nuked her accounts, and so she's been reposting old things on her current channels. So here is an example of what the content that she was creating back when she was rich, apparently. This is the type of content that she was creating.
Hello, haters. I'm Dana Donnelly, and today I'm going to be trying on every single shirt I frickin' own. Without further ado, let's get frickin' started. Yellow vintage Y2K Juicy Couture tank top.
She starts
that
talking
reads,
about her backstory.
Women and horny ass men couldn't frickin' stand it, so they all came together and conspired to convince me I was frickin' massive, and I believed them because I was 11 and I went on a diet where I'd eat 10 Oreos a day, and I lost 30 pounds in 3 months as a 12-year-old who was not overweight to begin with, and I almost died. I starved myself for so long, so consistently, that I had a resting heart rate
rate of 27 beats per minute. And the doctor said, this is not normal. Your daughter needs freaking help. And my parents said, does she? She looks pretty chubbo to us. No, I'm just kidding. They said, don't athletes have really low heart rates? We're a really athletic family. Maybe she's just an athlete like us. And the doctor said, no, this is not an athlete thing. And then I spent the next 5 years of my life in and out of mental hospitals and eating disorder treatment programs, where I was put on experimental psychopharmaceutical medications that made me literally obese, like literally 50 pounds heavier than the weight that my parents first called me fat at. And so during my teen years, I never got to wear the clothes that I wanted to because I didn't feel comfortable enough in my body. And so
Nadia, come on.
I didn't mean to do that. Are we learning something? Oh no, I've been watching nothing but Darman videos. That's what got loaded up. Tookie, you familiar with Darman?
I am not.
Holy shit! I invite you.
You were in for a world of pain and laughs.
DHARMANN. Blind Mike turned me onto this channel. It's fucking incredible. Anyway,
I'll check it out.
So apparently, what we're finding out here is that this woman talks very annoyingly, but also that she had
mental illness is so in right now.
Yes, this is working out very well because she had an eating disorder and she went through it for all that time. Then she was super skinny and then she was obese. And so now she can wear half shirts when she shouldn't.
Yes.
She feels fine about that. Good for her. I'm happy for her.
She doesn't have quite the figure to do I'm going to model all my shirts video.
You don't think that was a good move?
I mean, I don't want to attribute to her, contribute more to her mental illness, but yeah, she should have rethought that.
All right, Tookie, what else? Since you did do your homework, and I do appreciate that because you do a show on Saturdays and you're a busy puppet.
Up until 2 a.m. watching this garbage.
God damn it. All right. Now I'm feeling bad. First I came on here, wanted to yell at him.
See?
I
care. Tookie cares, and that's why I feel like an idiot, because we all care, and we try.
Right.
And meanwhile, we have all these people who just have mental illness, and they're like, I need someone to listen to me.
We'll talk about Kevin Brennan soon. We need to talk about Kevin. We'll get to that.
So they just hit live, but go to clip number 3, which I haven't titled mental illness.
Sometimes this morning I was worrying that you were a robot, that like my mom had paid for me to meet.
You're always wondering this.
It's always something.
The thing is, I was thinking about how fragile I actually am and how I'm literally always like one weird thought away from just a complete and total psychotic meltdown. Well, and that's really scary.
Get confident, stupid.
That really is all the rage right now. There's so many shows, podcasts about mental health, mental wellness. And almost every time, because I listen to these, especially when I go on Drew's show, he loves talking about this kind of stuff. Almost every time, the host is mentally ill.
Yes.
It's like, maybe you shouldn't be broadcasting this. You should be listening to a professional talk about it.
Well, what better professional to get advice from than clip number 10?
Okay.
No, and then, I mean, Kanye West said this. This is one of the better things he said. But he says that he doesn't take advice from anyone who's older than him because anyone who's older than him doesn't know anything.
Okay, pretty good.
Yeah, and I always say that like the only person who's older than me that I'll take advice from is Kanye West saying that advice of only taking advice from
So specifically that piece of advice.
Specifically that piece of advice. I know other things.
Oh my God.
You get it?
Yeah, good stuff. So I just picked up on something. They bought new microphones in between the first episode and the 5th episode.
Yeah, they were SM57s.
Yeah, right. Which is not good for podcasting.
Yeah, or holding.
But these are worse because they're holding them and they're making a lot of noise.
Oh, yeah.
It's very bothersome. I wonder who does the editing on this, because someone's going in and doing that quick zoom cut thing
for no reason,
back and forth. So someone's watching this back, and they're not getting any advice, or if it's one of them, they're not thinking like maybe we should have topics to discuss.
It's got to be the main girl. I don't know why, but I think she thinks she's doing something like innovative. Like I said, like they think like this is going to be the thing that all these other podcasts are going to be doing. Mindless scaling of the video for some reason.
Let me read the description on their YouTube about. It says, "The Young Old Podcast is back and better than ever." I'm not making that up. That's what it says. Dana is engaged. Eve is embroiled in Reddit drama, and Chubbs is getting no respect as usual.
Oh, Chubbs.
Chubbs. Can't catch a break, that one.
Good old gay Chubbs.
Good old gay Chubbs. He can't figure it out.
We're back. We're better than ever.
We're back. That's all I was thinking of. All right.
Together forever.
They're going to give us an update on the LA wildfires. And these are people, and I talk about it all the time. There's a generation of people who only can talk about TikTok. Like everything in their world is like, oh my gosh, on TikTok today? Did you see it on TikTok today? I was watching TikTok today. I was making a TikTok and TikTok.
Anyway,
the fires. Do you want to talk about the fires
do
at
we
all?
want to talk
We're
about
safe from the fires.
Yeah. If anyone was curious, the Young Old podcast has survived the LA fires.
If you survived the fires, congrats. Now's threat number 2. The threat number 2 is us.
Yeah, it's the Young Old podcast. We're freaking
If
back.
you didn't catch that, that's a Leo Skeppy reference.
So she makes a joke, and they both go, "It's good stuff." And she's like, "Obviously, that's from Leo Skeppy." So I looked this up. This is what she's referencing there.
Okay, this is for everybody in LA. If you survived the fire, congrats. This is round 2. This is threat number 2.
So this random fucking TikTok video, I have to know about this lore in order to get the jokes on this show. It's too much. I'm tapping out. Can't do it.
Fuck, 2.2 million likes. What is this? Who is he?
This is that thing that we were just talking about, where it's like a lottery ticket.
Yes.
Like these fucking people just do nothing. They're just talking to their phone. And this is what Opie's been trying to do forever, and he can't get it going.
Is Opie on TikTok? Ray DeVito, get on TikTok.
Opie is on TikTok. We cover him quite a bit on Who Are These Socials.
I know Chad was on TikTok. He was talking about the 2 hot chicks who were 2 college girls that were running my TikTok. Hey, they ghosted me. They just disappeared. Did you hear that?
No, I did not.
Yeah. His two college chicks, they disappeared on him. I wonder if they still have control of his TikTok.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh, no.
I got to check that out. I'll have to look into that. All right. So there's a lot of mindless talk. I'm actually going to skip some of these clips that I pulled because it really is stupid. But I don't know if Robert, a.k.a. Chubbs, is also a comic. But he brings up this guy, Brent, someone who was the father of a classmate of his when he was in school back in the Midwest. And he makes this reference like everyone's supposed to get it. And he's like, oh, this guy's going out some serious Brent vibes. And it's like, what are you talking about? And so then he says this.
It does seem like hot guys in Missouri be scamming, be grifting.
Well, that's which is
your joke.
Which is the gist of my joke.
Yes.
Yeah. I have a joke where basically it's like everyone says people in the Midwest are like ugly or whatever, and like everyone's hot in New York, LA. It's like no, there are so many hot people in the Midwest. It's just you don't see them when you visit because they're all in jail because they all do scams. Hot people in the Midwest are always scamming and always quite successfully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty good joke. Pretty good stuff. You came up with it yourself, huh? Wow. Okay. Cool. Do you know that Dana also does characters?
That was another thing. Dana like created like an account because like after being off social media for a while, she created like an account where she played this character, Dr. P. And so many people would be like act as if they couldn't wrap their heads around like being a character online.
Yeah.
And it's like I know for a fact you've self-produced many failed web series. You know what it's like to be a character on the internet that nobody really seems to respond to.
But people did respond to Dr. P.
I know they did.
There
That's
were
another thing, too.
There were people.
Yeah. Dr. P was clouded up at 7,500 followers.
Well, also in those 7,500, they were in your army.
Yeah, they were dedicated. They were pee-pee heads.
She had a whole army of pee-pee heads.
Can't believe it didn't catch on.
Character Dr. Pee-pee, and then she blew it all up for some reason. I'll show you just a quick example of what was that, Tookie?
I was just going to say, what kind of coward has to go online and just do characters?
Right.
Be yourself. Be who you are, you cowards.
Correct, Tookie.
Yay!
So here's an example of a film by Donnelly. So, like, what are we? So that's her on the phone. And there's Chubbs playing guitar on the other line.
Yo. When are you coming over? I thought you said you were going to be here by 9.
Oh, yeah. I was going to ask. Do you mind coming here?
What?
So this conversation goes on for a while. And then the next
Did you tell me you want to
character is Eve, the sister.
Talk with him because you want a commitment, and if he doesn't, you need to cut him off. I know it seems hard to find a good guy, but they exist. I mean,
So, I mean, at least there's effort in this, and they wrote a script, and they filmed it and edited this. But it just seems like Dana is desperate for attention, desperate to become famous. She moved out to LA, and it's not happening yet. Maybe we'll help her out. Maybe this show will give her the boost she needs. Tookie, any other clips you want to play from this?
Sure. I think clip number 8. I'm not sure if that's the one you played before, but that kind of that you mistakenly played. But that kind of explains how, yeah, she did come to Hollywood, or no, they all did want to be actors, and she did. She thought she was special, but then she found out, nope, I'm just another chubby Asian chick with no tits.
Because also we're such like we want to be special so bad.
No, I'd be pissed.
Like
It's like
I
a clown
would
could turn into a lion cub.
It's like you're either Faye or you're trying to be famous. That's famous
real.
is the closest that we'll ever get to Faye.
So real, so real.
Anyway, make us famous. Okay.
Make us Faye or famous.
Either one. Whichever comes first.
But
We'll
also,
take
if I
it.
was Faye, like I would use that
To be
become
famous.
famous?
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be enough for you to be like Faye in private. You'd have to show it off.
You'd post about it.
Would you? I feel like you could be Faye in private. I feel like you'd have a great time being Faye in
Right,
private.
I guess I could be like Hannah, or like I'll still be famous as a human.
Yeah.
And like being Faye will be like my secret.
It's like when in like the X-Men.
Okay, Tookie, I'm completely lost. What is this fucking Faye shit? What are they talking about?
The Faye is just being a fairy.
Right. So what does that mean to be a Faye by yourself and a secret Faye? Like, what do they mean?
What the fuck do you think? I have no fucking clue. But I was mixed up. I think the clip I wanted you to play was number 8. Actually,
That was 8 that I just played.
Oh, that was 8.
Yeah. But they're like fantasizing like children on here.
Yeah. No, it is. It's some kind of
Bizarre.
fantasy that I don't know what people are talking about anymore. Most people, I think, just live on the internet, but like they're literally like living in the internet. You know, like at least with the Dabbleverse. I mean, most people seem to have lives outside of this shit.
You know who I know has a life outside of this shit is Aaron Imholt. Dude.
Yes.
That guy, he goes out, he
brags about
touches
it.
grass.
Does everything.
He exercises. He's got it all figured out.
Kids part-time, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, the Faye thing is, they just said being a fairy, which again, I just thought it meant acting gay. I don't know.
I think that those go hand in hand, don't they?
Right. Tookie's old school. I hear the word fairy and I think gay.
Right.
Yay!
And it's okay because Tookie's a puppet, so he can say that. Please don't nuke our channel.
Zachi.
Who are these podcasts? WAT.